Usually when college humor takes a feminist, social justice kind of perspective on something, it doesn't really jump out as something that I feel the need to comment on, either because it's been said before and argued against before, or simply because I really don't feel like there's much to say except, well, I disagree. However, this comic I'm about to show you did jump out at me as something that I felt the need to comment on, and I'll explain why after we go through it. The comic starts with two women talking, and the woman in the purple shirt says, "Meh, I don't identify as a feminist because I support gender equality. But feminism is about gender equality. No, I mean I support real equality. You know." And then she goes through a list of every bad thing that's ever happened to women, and says that we should do the same thing to men, because that's true equality. To which the feminist says, "That seems pretty extreme. I'm just a feminist." Now, part of my motivation for making this video is just the fact that it seems like a lot of commenters don't understand what this comic is trying to argue. I highly doubt that it's saying that if you're not a feminist, then this is what you actually believe. Rather, I think it's saying that if you claim to not be a feminist but still support equality, then this is the only thing that you could logically be saying by that statement, because feminism encompasses everything else about equality, the argument goes, namely the common sense things that most normal people support. Essentially, this comic is saying that it's contradictory to not be a feminist, but to still support common sense equality. That would be like saying, I drive a car, but not something with four wheels. That would have to be a really strange kind of car for that statement to be true, or in this case, a very strange type of equality. And I've spelled out my disagreements with this general idea before. It's the same as arguing that if you're not a Christian, well then you can't possibly believe in charity and forgiveness. No one group has a monopoly on ideas like charity, forgiveness, or equality, and saying it does is reasoning inside out. A is not a subset of B, B is a subset of A. But the main reason why I wanted to make this video is because of the kind of equality that the writers chose to not be a part of feminism, specifically this kind of statistical revenge, balancing out the universe equality. I think it's a very strange choice because at every turn, the group of people who do want this kind of vengeance equality are themselves feminists or social justice types. And of course, this drives normal people away and drives them to say things like, I support real equality, which is why I'm not a feminist. Examples of this kind of thinking pop up more quickly than I can write them down, so I have a few here, but if you have any others you'd like to suggest, leave them in the comments section, and if they make sense, I will put them in the description as well. Most recently, there was the Huffington Post Twitter post where they bragged about how all of their editors are women. Yay, equality! You know, on second thought, that doesn't actually sound like equality. That just sounds like you're trying to balance out the universe from other places or other times where things like this are dominated by men. Then there is the Canadian group called the Women's Legal Education and Action Fund, LEAF, which supports what it calls substantive equality, which accounts for past historical disadvantages in considering modern groups of people. Again, common sense, most people agree equality, or balancing out the universe. There was, several years ago, Sweden's move to eliminate affirmative action when it helped men. What happened is fields like nursing became dominated by women, statistically speaking, and at that point Sweden's affirmative action laws, which were written gender neutral, started helping men into those fields, as they did with women in fields where men were overrepresented. And that's when Sweden threw a fit, or some people in Sweden. Men are dominating one field, that's not fair! Women are dominating another field, awesome! Again, actual common sense equality or statistical revenge balancing out the universe. And the final thing I wanted to share is just something that I experienced, or I was attending the event. I don't know if there's video footage of it, but I attended my brother's college graduation. I won't say which college it was, but it was a college out in California, and it was definitely a social justice kind of type of environment. And someone got up and was giving a speech. It was one of the administrators, and one of the things she mentioned is that one of their important boards that makes important decisions was all women, and everyone was supposed to cheer and clap for that. But I'm sitting there thinking, that doesn't sound like equality, that sounds like, again with the Huffington Post thing, balancing out the universe, statistical revenge. And really the core of my disagreement with this kind of thinking is that these kinds of collectivist theory feminists act as if the same individual men and women have been around for thousands of years, and now we need to teach those same men how to behave, and we now need to give those women the chances they were denied centuries ago. They ignore the fact that people die, and new people are born, who don't have those same mentalities, who don't have those same disadvantages that their parents had. This is why people like me compare social justice feminism with Christianity. In a very true sense, they both have original sin. You didn't do anything wrong, but the people in your group, or some people in your group, did something wrong years ago, so now that's on you. Even though it's not nearly as beneficial to be in your group or harmful to be in the other group as it used to be. But we're still mad at you. I can understand why Captain Ahab thought it was a good idea to take revenge on an animal, but I cannot understand why some people think it's a good idea to take revenge on dead people through their descendants, and then turn around and say that they're the ones who support true equality. One more thing I keep forgetting to mention, there is now a Venaloid Facebook page. Link in the description, it's facebook.com/Venaloid. One of the advantages of picking a dumb name for your channel when you're 15 is that no one else has that dumb name. So facebook.com/Venaloid, give it a like, give it a follow.